Why it is? Why it is very important? Because most of the time, if you collect data from your company, it will follow the bell shape only. Like in the pilot example we have seen, all your product dimension, your turnaround time, your cycle time, lead time. There are many things which will follow. Even your rejection rate will follow normal distribution, right? So it is very important all of you understand normal distribution. A distribution is called normal if mean, mode, and median are equal. Mean means average. Mode means most occurred data. Median means the central data, below which 50% of the data is there, above which 50% of the data is there. The curve is symmetric at the center. See here, I have drawn a line. Do you see the curve symmetrical about this line? Whatever you are seeing on the right side, same thing you are seeing on the left side. That is called symmetrical. Exactly half of the value are to the left and half of the value are to the right. That means when I say the total area is 100, on the right side of the center line, the area will be 50. Left side area will be 50. So if I consider total area as 1, what will be the right side area? 0.5. Left side area will be 0.5. This right side 50% is further divided into 34%, 13%, and then 2.1% and so on. We don't write beyond 2.1% or we don't consider beyond 2.1% generally, because up to the green itself, we are able to understand 99% of the area. Or I will tell you exactly 99.73% of the area under the curve, we are able to understand by covering the blue, brown, and green area. The ununderstood or unexplained area of the curve is beyond the green color, right? So this particular limit, what is this point? This point is written as 3 sigma. That means this point is 3 sigma distance from the center. Mu is here and 3 sigma distance from the center. This point, when you come up to 3 sigma on the right and similarly 3 sigma on the left, the total area will be blue area, brown area, green area. It is how much? 99.73. What is that we are yet to understand? We are yet to understand only 0.27%. All of you are with me on this? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can't get you, sir.
Okay. See here, whenever you visualize your data, to visualize your data, you need to plot some graph. Imagine you are plotting a histogram. Now with the histogram, you have 100 data, you can calculate the average, right? You calculate the average is mu. With the same 100 data, you calculate the standard deviation. And now after calculating the standard deviation, mu is here. You add 3 sigma to the mu. Now mu plus 3 sigma. Now you are here. You are at a distance of 3 sigma from the mu, because this point is mu plus 3 sigma. Similarly, this point is mu minus 3 sigma. And now when you go to the right by 3 sigma unit and left by 3 sigma unit, you have covered 99.73% of the population. Anyway, I will make it simple with one more example. See here, I have a line, center line, and now this is the normal distribution. The red color area is the right side area. Can I write red color area is 0.5?
Yes, sir.
Can I write it? Yes. That
Yes,
means
sir.
what is the size of the white color area? That is also 0.5.
Yes, sir.
Always total area is considered 1. Always total probability is considered 1. Or percentage, we consider 100%.
Okay.
And now you see here, I have moved the center line from center to another point. Now, what is the remaining area? Can somebody be able to explain me? The center line is 16.78. What is 16.78? Average.
Okay.
Standard deviation is 3. Now I moved to the right by a distance equal to 3. So how many standard deviation I moved? 1 standard deviation.
1 sigma you have.
I moved to 1 standard deviation. What is the area of this center to 1 standard deviation? Earlier we studied 34%, right? In the previous curve we have studied. You see here. How much it is? Blue color area, 34%. So when you shift your line from center to this point, the remaining area will be 50 minus 34%. 50 minus 34 is how much? 16%.
16, sir.
So that is what is written here. 0.1587 accurately. Why am I teaching you this? You are calculating the probability, right? If you want to get a value to the right of the center, you have 50% chance. If you want to get an output to the right of 19.78, what is the chance you have? You have only 15%. If you know how to calculate the probability, you can take decisions very well. So understanding on the normal distribution and the properties of normal distribution will make you calculate the probability easily. All right. So similarly, for any value you can do it, and we'll do that with some softwares. And now normal distribution we have understood. There is one more thing all of you need to understand, which is standard normal distribution. Now there is only one difference. Earlier I have shown you center is mu. Now what is that I am showing? Center is 0. Center is 0. If you replace the average by 0 and standard deviation by 1, your normal distribution will be called standard normal distribution, nothing else. It is also a normal distribution only. In normal distribution, average can be any value. Standard deviation can be any value. But in a standard normal distribution, average or the center should be 0, standard deviation should be 1. If you make that happen, your distribution is now called standard normal distribution. Both we will be using very frequently, right? Just keep it in your mind. And how can I convert my average into 0? There is a transformation formula, or we call it Z variable or standard normal variate. What do you call? The formula is observed value minus target divided by standard deviation. Imagine your customer wants a product with 100 mm dimension. Customer wants a product with 100 mm dimension. And what you produced one product that is also 100 mm. Now tell me, the produced value or nothing but the observed value and target value, both are same. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Customer wanted 100 mm and what you produced also 100. Both are same value. Now you calculate observed value minus target value. What happens to your Z? Z becomes 0. All of you are with me on this?
Yes.
When observed value and target are same, your Z score is 0. If your Z score is 0, that's the healthiest scenario. You produce everything around the customer target only. So your Z score gaining a value means you started manufacturing or producing outputs away from the targeted value. If you do that happen, if you make that happen, your Z score will increase. So somehow we are capturing whether you are continuously producing the products around the customer target or are you deviating, right? This distribution will be helpful. And if you continuously use these distributions, you will become familiar. And now,
excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, means one organization have to target near 0 for the perfection attainment.
Come again.
Organization have to target the 0 aim for the means achieve the equilibrium for.
I'll tell you. Z equal to 0 means 0 deviation. Z equal to 0 means 0 deviation. Whatever customer wants, you are able to give. But always there will be deviation in any organization with respect to any product. And now, anyway, we will come to that same normal distribution once again, maybe in another 10 minutes. And now, imagine you have a flowing river, and this is nothing but the entire group here. All of you are standing here. And imagine you are leading the group, and you have to make the entire group cross the river by walking through the river. The task is you have to walk through the river. At the same time, you have to see that everyone is crossing the river safely. And now you don't want to risk everyone's life. So what you did is you first took the risk. You walked through the river along route A, and somehow you managed to get some reading. These readings are nothing but the depth of the river along route A. Still you are not convinced. You also checked the route B, and these are the readings in route B. And now another route also you tried. Somehow you got all this reading. And now you have set of data for route A, route B, and route C. Now you want to decide the best route for your team. You
Yeah, yeah.
calculate, yeah, very good. You calculate the average, which is 4 feet for route A, 4 feet for route B also, 4 feet for route C also. Does it mean all the routes are having the same risk?
No.
Now tell me which is the safest route, A or B
A.
or C?
A is the safest
Why it is?
because
Because
when we have derived 4 as the safest one, on
here,
average, it will come only 4 closer A only.
very good. So here risk means the ups and downs in the river is the risk. If it is having, if it is deeper at certain point, and if it is not exactly 4 feet at certain point, then people will struggle. So the ups and downs are the risk here. The ups and downs are very minimum in route A. However, in route B, it is higher. So looking at the number itself, you are able to find out. But if there are too many numbers, it is difficult for you. And that is why we always insist you to not only calculate the average, and also calculate the standard deviation. And for taking decision, we always use average, but your decision will work well only after looking at the standard deviation, right? So let me teach you how to calculate the standard deviation for all the 3 route. Now, in the route A, I have 6 data. Route A, I have 6 data. The average is found to be 4. And now x minus x bar. X minus x bar is the deviation. Each number minus the average. Now, do you see plus and minus? Plus and minus means ups and down. But when I add all the plus and minus, I'm getting 0. Sum of the deviation is 0. Does it mean there are no up and down? No, there are a lot of ups and downs.
There are
right?
a lot of options.
So I'm not able to capture it. So I don't want my variation to vanish. I'm squaring. When I square it, all the minus will become plus. Now I am getting a number. Now this number definitely talks about the amount of variation associated in route A. Now I divide that squared deviation, sum of squared deviation by n minus 1, where n is the number of data. There are 6 data I have. So n minus 1 is 5, 1.2. This 1.2 is called variance. Variance is a squared value. Each number is measured using the unit feet. That means 4 means 4 feet, 5 means 5 feet. So what is the unit of variance? Feet square. So working with the squared units is tough. So we take the square root. And now the square root is 1.09, and that is called the standard deviation. Right? Now the standard deviation associated with route A is 1.09. Same way, standard deviation associated with route B is 1.87. Standard deviation associated with route C is 1.82. Now I summarize everything. Average is 4 feet in all the 3 route. Standard deviation is 1.09 with the A, 1.87 with B, 1.82 with the C. And all of you said route A is the best. I agree with you because the standard deviation is lower at A. So your decision on average will make a lot of sense when standard deviation is lower. Now you can take all your people through route A, and definitely they will have a safe crossing of the river, right? So now you understood how to calculate standard deviation, how to calculate average, and how to calculate variance also. So this is what all of us have studied in 7th standard while doing our schooling. Sigma equal to square root of summation of x minus x bar the whole square divided by n minus 1. And when I visualize the data, you see here, it is normally distributed. And center is the average, mu is the average. When I move away from the center, I am here now. This is mu plus sigma. I move further, 1 more sigma. Now I am at mu plus 2 sigma. I move further, now I am at mu plus 3 sigma. Mu plus 3 sigma is called the control limit, upper control limit on the right side. Similarly, mu minus 3 sigma is lower control limit on the left side. And what is the total area under the curve? Under the curve in between your control limit? 99.73. That means 99.73% of your data will be definitely inside the control limit, right? And this is a property of normal distribution and given by Frederick Gauss. And if you go up to 2 sigma, you can understand 95% of the population. If you go up to 1 sigma, you can understand only 68% of the population. So what percentage of population you want to understand, right? Generally, we have the practice of going up to 3 sigma And the 3 sigma points are given a special name called control limit or process extremities. And now the point is 99.73% of the points will definitely lie inside control limit. How this prediction will be helpful in my business? If my control limit and specification limits are one and same, 99.73% of the parts I produce will be accepted by the customer because control limit and specification limits are one and same. All of you are with me on this?
Yes.
So this,
Yes, sir.
this property is helping me to understand what proportion of products, what proportion of service I offer will be acceptable by my customer. For that, you need to compare your control limit with the specification limit. That's all. If you know control limit and specification limit properly, then and if you know the relative position, you can understand your capability. So now that you have the average of the river, what is the average of the river? Average depth.
4.
4 feet.
What is the standard deviation of the river? For example, let us assume standard deviation is 1 feet. With the standard deviation and average, will you be able to understand the river fully?
No.
I can still comment about the river. I can still comment about the river by knowing the average and standard deviation. But all that you need to take care is your measurement should be free from error, and your sampling should be strong. If you do the sampling, sufficient sample, and if your data is free from error, you can comment about the river. What can I comment about the river now? 99.73% of the river will have the depth ranging from 1 feet and 7 feet. Do you think I will be correct? 99.73% of the river will have the depth ranging from 1 feet and 7 feet. But still there is a chance. 0.27% of the river may have depth lower than 1 feet and more than 7 feet. Logical?
Yes.
This is how normal distribution helps in prediction. And now our statistical department and our government has information about many things. For example, they have the information about how many dolphins are there in a particular ocean. Do you think they are counting each and every dolphin?
No.
Or I want to know how many lions are living in a forest. Do you think I can go and meet each and every lion?
No.
Impossible. So all that they can do is they can only take a sample. They only a small area they will study, and with the sample they will predict about the population. This is called inferential statistics. With the sample, if you predict the population, that is called what? Inferential statistics. And 99.73% of the forest can be understood simply by studying a small portion of the forest. And if you have 2 parameters, one is average and standard deviation, you can make beautiful prediction. You will be very, very close to reality. Similarly, I want to know how many whales are there in the ocean, or I want to know what proportion of products my company is going to produce next 5 years will be rejected. I can still do. I can comment on it. I will measure my current performance. I will calculate average. I will calculate standard deviation. I will tell you your next 5 years fate will be this if you continue working the same manner. Unless and until you improve, this will be the rejection, this will be the acceptance. So all these predictions we can do. All of you are now able to understand why are we studying normal distribution?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now tell me, average is a measure of central tendency or variation?
Central tendency.
And
Central
standard
tendency.
deviation is a measure of consistency or inconsistency?
Consistency.
Consistency.
If higher standard deviation means, are you consistent or you are inconsistent?
Inconsistent.
Inconsistent.
Right? So you can use standard deviation to measure both, but if standard deviation is higher, you are inconsistent. If standard deviation is lower, then you are consistent. Right. What proportion of points are expected to be inside control limit?
99.73.
Then 95.45 is applicable for 2 sigma limit.
2 sigma.
68.27 is applicable for 1 sigma limit. Standard deviation is always a positive value. Is it true or false?
True.
True.
Normal distribution is symmetrical about the center.
Yes.
Yes.
True.
Yes, yes.
total area under the normal distribution curve is 100,
False.
No.
Yes, sir.
right? Always total means it's 100, right? 100%. True. Still some more question. If control limits stay inside the specification limit, your process is considered capable or not capable?
Not
Yeah.
capable.
Not capable.
Control limit or inside the
Capable.
specification limit? Capable.
Capable.
Because, right now, because almost everything you produce will be accepted by your customer if you keep control limit inside specification limit. Specification limits are provided by customer or manufacturer.
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 Customer. Customer.
Sorry.
Customer gives the specification, right? And control limits are calculated using customer data or process data.
Process data.
Beautiful. All of you are with me so far? No confusions? Very good. Beautiful. Another 10 to 15 minutes will make big difference, right? So what is Six Sigma? It is a methodology to reduce the defects by reducing the variation to improve the performance on CTQ. CTQ will be taught to you right after my session by madam. And CTQ means critical to quality characteristics. In my product, I consider certain feature as very important. For example, surface finish is important to me. Dimension is important to me. Those are all CTQs. Customer will check those points, will check those features. Any feature which customer would like to check in your product, because that drives satisfaction. And those features are called CTQs. So Six Sigma's focus is to improve the performance on each and every CTQ. At this point of time, I'm telling you, please note, Six Sigma is calculated CTQ wise, not product wise, not organization wise, not employee wise. CTQ is calculated, the Sigma level is calculated CTQ wise. A product can have 100 CTQ. If your Sigma level with respect to all 100 CTQ is high, then only your product can be a great product, right? And now we are going to take an example to measure the process capability. And we can take any product, any service, all that I want is some number, right? So to make it simple and easy to understand for each one of you, I am going to take Ola. All of you know, right? Ola car business. Whenever you open the application, you book a car will come to your place. Now, can you tell me one of the CTQ here? What is critical to quality whenever you are booking a car?
Time.
So when I book the car, the application will say, gentlemen, car will come in 20 minutes. Now that 20 minutes is